Thank you all for joining us. I'm excited to introduce you to Cameron Woodward, the co-founder of Rapbook. And we've been partnering with Rapbook for well over a year in this complicated, ever-changing landscape of payroll, and it's been a game changer. There's no way we could maintain compliance in with such an extensive list of crew operating in multiple states. Setup was easy, customer support wonderful, and ease of use are high on our lists of pros. Crew feedback has been positive as well. Rapbook continues to evolve to meet the needs of individual states, staying one step ahead of changing laws and regulations, something we could never keep up with on our own. So I can't imagine life without Rapbook. And thank you, Cameron, for joining us. So without further ado, take it away.
Awesome, Pat. Thank you so much. Those are some very high marks. I really appreciate that. And it's always nice to know that we have a happy customer in you. So thank you so much. I'm Cameron Woodward. I am one of the co-founders at Rapbook. A little bit about me and then a little bit about Rapbook. So I started my career as an independent, non-union commercial producer in the San Francisco Bay Area. And I learned firsthand back then how tremendously painful doing production payroll was and could be, and how distracting it was, at least for me, from the core business that I had, which was making stuff, which is what I love doing. And so this kind of haunted me for years, which was what set me out on this journey and adventure to meet my co-founders and build a contemporary and modern solution for production payroll. So I am a producer, I am a creative, and I like to say that like my role as EP just got extended to thinking about the operations for all different types of project economy and creative producers as well. So that's me. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to give just a quick overview of Rapbook, and then I'm going to show you the good stuff, which is actually the product itself, right? So Rapbook really serves a number of different challenges that come up in our clients' worlds. So first, we hear from accounting teams that they struggle to get insight into the cost of their productions in real time. They have a difficult time making sense of their budgets because information comes in late, or there's errors with the payroll data. We hear from production staff that, you know, they only have so much time in a given day to shoot, and many hours are wasted or squandered getting people to fill out paperwork or time cards, reading them. Is that a 6? Is it a 9? Is it an 8? Paper is just very burdensome and very time consuming, and that time can be better spent producing. And then we also hear from cast and crew as well, who are used to an entertainment payroll process in which they are filling out the same forms, the same information over and over and over again. And so we sought to do it better. And that's why we invented and continue to invent alongside our clients, Rapbook, a seamless, smart, and secure unified solution for entertainment payroll. You can see here that we actually have a mobile app and a desktop app as well. The mobile app is phenomenal because instead of, you know, using an antiquated kind of broken sort of software, cast and crew members, if they have iOS, can literally keep track of all of their payments from every company that uses Rapbook over the course of a year, a month, a week. They can see upcoming projects. They can submit time super quickly. So we're really all about bringing contemporary software to you so that payroll gets out of your way. I don't think payroll should be the top of your mind. I think your production and your client should be, right? Here's a graphic that I think really does a really nice job of articulating visually how the platform works, right? So you have accounting teams, production teams, cast and crew, and then we have all of these beautiful features built into the platform, from worker onboarding, the management of your cast and crew, the payroll process, which is obviously what people think about when they think about entertainment payroll, but we found that you can actually build software around the payroll process and add a ton of value to different production companies. But payroll is important, keep you compliant state by state. Then accounting and vendor management. We have some really exciting announcements and products coming out in this year that allow you to kind of manage POs and petty cash. to connect your payroll and Rapbook to your own accounting solution. And then also hugely important is real-time at your fingertips analytics and reporting. So very excited to show this to you. And then as well, industry expertise, data security, an amazing support team. And then I mentioned it earlier, integrations. But, I do want to really dial in on the data security really quickly. The way that this used to be done before Rapbook existed was on paper, people's personal information floating around. I remember calling a producer once on a show. I was like, hey, I'm excited to jump on. And they're like, and I was like, do you need my start work or my information for starting the job? They're like, no, I already got it. And it's like, wait, what? How do you already have my information? And that's kind of this status quo of the industry. So having bank grade encryption, we're SOC 2 compliant, it keeps the whole platform just deeply secure. And in addition to the technology, we have an extremely well-versed labor team who can help you with any sort of claim that arises. If any of you ever venture into union, we can help on that side. We have payroll experts that come from basically every major entertainment payroll company that understand time cards in and out. And then we also have an amazing support team as well. So if your cast and crew ever reach out to you asking about how does Rapbook work, you can send them our way and we're more than happy to help. And so really what this is about is productivity, clarity, and dependability. And with that, we'll get to the good stuff because nobody likes going through a slide deck, right? Right. Okay. So this right here, can you all still see my screen? I think you can. Let's see. I think you can see me. Sorry, everybody. It's like, Pat, can you see my screen? Oh, I see chats. Let's see here.
Yes, all good, Cameron. I can
Okay,
see
good.
it.
We're good.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the Rapbook dashboard. This is what Rapbook looks like if you are a production company, right? And what you can see here are your existing projects. So this particular company is called Tall Metrics House. They have 2 projects ongoing, a Taylor Swift music, a photo shoot, and a Siemens commercial. And what's really cool about this is that as these projects are in flight, you as the administrator of your production company can see that there are 3 time cards, 5 invoices, 8 expenses, and 2 payrolls that are requiring your attention on these projects. And we're going to dig into these projects in just a minute. But before we do, I want to show you something that I think is very, very powerful about Rapbook. So you can see here in the lower left is my name, Cameron Woodward, right? This is a very important distinction. When you log into Rapbook, I'm not logging in as Tall Metrics House. I'm logging in as Cameron Woodward, the administrator of Tall Metrics House. And the reason why this is super powerful is that it means that I can own my own company. It also means that I can receive payments from other companies that maybe hire me. It means I can literally start new companies and have as many companies as I want that I can run payroll through with Rapbook. And so what this does is it just produces a federated or networked platform that allows you to have your own identity and different relationships with different types of companies. And the reason why this is important is because within Rapbook, you can actually assign different production managers or production coordinators to your different projects. And then you can actually determine how much insight or impact can they have on any given project, right? Like you might bring on a freelance coordinator and you only want them to have access to the Taylor Swift job, not to all of the other ones, right? So I'm going to show you something that's really powerful. In the company settings, once you've created your Rapbook account for your company, which again takes about 2 minutes, you would give us your EIN, your company name. You can literally integrate with QuickBooks Online. We have more integrations coming. We have something called project chart template. So if any of you are used to like the AICP chart, or if any of you have your own chart of accounts that you use for tracking payments in your projects, you can bring that to Rapbook and the system you can map codes to any payables within your projects. I-9s, right? If you're paying workers as employees, you need to be able to collect I-9s, and we have preferences for how often you ask a worker to do that. paid sick leave benefits. Since the last time I've come to the AMA to do a demo, we've added a lot of functionality that's really powerful, right? So in one of the ways that we're helping to keep companies compliant is also paid sick leave, right? Workers, as they work jobs as employees, they accrue certain amounts of hours that they can apply to paid sick leave. Rapbook doesn't make you use this functionality, but if you want to be compliant, you can use it, and it's extremely helpful. But what I was just mentioning a little bit earlier about the users, right, is you can actually come in here and invite as many people to your Rapbook as you want. So I could invite 50 different admins in here. I could add a company manager who can do everything in Rapbook except for fund to payroll. And then coordinators can basically do all of the onboarding, the management of a project, but only for an individual project, and they can't run a payroll. So this gives you a lot of flexibility over all of your projects at any given time. As you create projects and you run payrolls, I want to show you this other really cool feature. Because again, remember, we're at the company level. So at the company level, I can come into all people, and this will actually show me every single person that I have ever hired across all of my projects. This becomes really, really powerful for a number of reasons. One is you're like, hey, what was that PA's name from way back in the day? Oh yeah, it was Beryl. Great. What did we pay them on that job? I can drive in here and I can see, oh, I've actually worked with them on 2 jobs, and I paid them $64 on an invoice on January 11th. Great. So all people becomes just a really powerful functional tool for you to know who have you ever hired in the past, what have you paid them. And if any of you have paid large numbers of crew before, you know that they probably reach out going, hey, where's my payment? What's so cool about Rapbook is in this view, I can come into this worker and I can actually see the status of payment in real time. No more going through emails or reaching out to a coordinator to figure out where is the payment, or to a paymaster, to a payroll company. It's all just right here at your fingertips. And in addition to this, cast and crew members also have their own profiles. They can see this information already. So 9 times out of 10, they're just no longer bothering you with this information request because they have it. It's really, really nice. The all projects is powerful. The all people is powerful. But I want to dig into something else that I think all of you will love, right? So as you onboard workers to a project, you probably have documents that you want them to sign. So Rapbook has this really cool company level start work tool. We have some contracts in here just available by default. You can edit these however you want, but as well, you can add your own. So I'm going to do a little shameless plug here for my marketing team, right? Let's say you come to Rapbook's website. You say, hey, I want to come to forms and templates. What have the good people at Rapbook's marketing done for us lately? Oh, look at this. They have a production services agreement. I come here, I fill out my information. Rapbook sends me a nice little email with a little production services agreement. I can just take it. I can copy it. I can come back to my Rapbook account. I can create add new start work. I can come in here and I can just plop it in just like that. And again, you can do this with any contract that you want. Now, the reason why, though, this becomes so powerful is see this little spot right here, company name and type. I can come in here. I can say, I want my loan out company name. And then the system will actually pull that information in real time. So start work becomes just extremely powerful for you with any type of start work that you want. And the smart fields make it just painless for not only you, but for the cast and crew as well. One of the ways that Rapbook really sets itself out is when you create a Rapbook account as a crew member, as you do jobs and you fill out this information, it just all accrues to your name. So that if you need to fill out this document, you're not filling it out over and over and over again. The information's already in the system, right? So it just saves so much time. And because so many AMA members are already Rapbook clients, I would probably wager that a good percentage of your crew that you would hire already have accounts, which actually makes Rapbook even faster than it was even a year ago, because people are just more familiar with the system, which is really nice. So start work, super powerful. Before we dig into projects, I also want to show you reports. Reports are super cool. So reports will show you any past payrolls ever run on the system across all of your projects. You could come in, you can literally view a payroll and see what was paid out. We'll get to this in a minute, but you can actually get in real time reports to see every single cent that went to every single person. Again, last year when I did this demo for the AMA, this type of deep, granular, real-time reporting wasn't even yet in the system. And so it's just a testament to how powerful software can be, is, you just keep adding features and it just builds such a robust platform that makes your lives so much better. And by the way, like, we don't charge for any of this. You pay for Rapbook by processing payrolls with your cast and crew. So literally by running payrolls, it's paying for our R&D for all of our engineers to build out this deeply robust system, which is really cool. So that's a kind of an overview of some of the really cool reports. I mean, another one that people love is the demographic hiring report. So as you hire individuals to your jobs, their very first time onboarding, they can designate how they identify, and then the system will actually produce a demographic reporting information that you can send to the agency or have on your own merit if you'd like to see it. So deep reporting and data at your fingertips is just very, very important for us, because we believe it just can unleash your ability to run your business smarter and faster, which is great. All right, so that's just the warm-up, right? That's the setting your company settings. It's reports across all of your payrolls, your expenses, start work so that you can set up your kind of business's core onboarding documents before you get into a project, the All People tab, and then, of course, the All Projects tab, which shows you all in-flight projects as they're running. I'm going to jump into the Taylor Swift photo shoot, okay? So I'm going to click View Project. You'll see that on the side here, we actually changed the buttons, right? Now all of these buttons correspond to this project. I can switch between projects here. I can create a new project. I can go back to all projects. But for our instance, we're going to come to the Taylor Swift photo shoot. All right. This dashboard page shows us just at a glance some interesting things that we should be aware of. We have submitted time cards. We have paid sick leave requests potentially. Maybe we have some petty cash that's outstanding. But for our purposes, I want to show you how you would onboard individuals to your production, okay? So what I would do is I would come here to the People tab. Now, again, we're in a demo environment that is showing a project that has already been onboarded with workers, okay? So if this was a totally new project, there would be nobody here and I would start onboarding people. What's really, really cool about Rapbook's onboarding is that you can start onboarding a project sometimes days before you ever even get to set, which saves you a lot of time on set. As well, you can actually see the status of people as they're onboarding, which keeps you compliant, right? You can export all of the individuals that you've onboarded, so you could use it for doing a manual call sheet. You can add people to different departments. So let me just take these 4 people and let me assign them to the art department. This is now going to give me even more granular reporting over all of the people that I have onboarded. We can see here that these 2 people, Cameron, that's me, I've been naughty, and so has this loan out. And I need to send them a reminder because I want to stay compliant. So I want to send these folks a reminder to complete their onboarding, and I'm going to send that. Now Rapbook has sent them a reminder to onboarding, which is all auditable. So like if somebody ever accuses you of not telling them to fill out their time card, you have a record of it right here. You can do it in bulk too. So look, send a reminder to 15 people to submit your time card. Now, 2 people have already been reminded, so we're not going to spam them, but 13 people are ready to go. So we're not sending it to Cameron or, I don't know how to say that, Jacita, because we've just done it. But for the 13, we're going to give them a reminder as well. Bam, just like that, a really amazing, clear view of who you have on your project. Extremely helpful for producers and has lots of implications for how you can do reporting on your jobs as well. As well as the project kind of goes through its motion, you can see how much people are pending, how much has been approved, how much has already been paid out, right? And onboarding people to a job is super simple. So you can come up here to add person. And I showed you earlier the All People tab, right? Rapbook is accumulating and staying very smart about who you've ever hired before. So if there's a person that you have already hired on past jobs, you can literally just pull them in here. It'll pull in their information, and then you can get to work. I can set the work location. When you create a new project, you kind of give all of these details, like where is the project going to be, et cetera, et cetera. Are there travel days, et cetera, et cetera. And then that then has ramifications for how you onboard the person to the work location. This is an employee, right? They're non-union. Let's say they are a set, let's call them a grip. That's even easier. A grip. I can set the department. Let's call them camera. Well, that wouldn't be camera, but let's call them grip. And I can set when are they starting, the 11th. They're ending on the 18th. That's perfect. I'm going to set their rate at $1,500. Now, this is really powerful. So I talked about cost codes a little bit earlier. Rapbook is super smart, and it knows which chart of accounts you've assigned to this project. So because I put in the job title grip, the system automatically knows to classify this worker as a grip within the chart of accounts. Now, you can get rid of all of this if you'd like, and you can still do it manually, but it is here in order to just give you a nice, smart ability to manage your production personnel and the time cards. The other thing that's really powerful is, like, let's say you have a pre-light day, pre-light, shoot day, and maybe these are two different rates. Rapbook will manually or automatically adjust and produce the right calculation so that you don't have to do it. So you're no longer manually going through time cards, right? You can then invite them. And remember, we talked about start work. I can then assign some individual start work for this individual to jump onto the job, right? And if I were to press save, they would all end up right back here where I showed you just before, and it would show you, have they created their account yet? Have they onboarded? Have they signed their start work? So it's very, very powerful. Now, there's these other things in here. There's start work per job. I can add start work just for this job instead of the company level. There's time cards, accounts payable, cost tracking for POs and petty cash. I can store my documents in here. I can adjust the settings for just this job. I want to show you all this, but before I do, I want to show you what it looks like as a cast or crew member that gets onboarded, right? So I showed you what it was like to just add a person. I'm going to show you what it's like to jump on to a job with Rapbook. So like I said earlier, here I am, I'm Cameron, and I'm going to pivot to my projects. We've now changed the view for what it would look like to be on Rapbook as a worker. And so this demo environment that we're in assumes that I've never used Rapbook before. And so I'm going to come in here to view the project that I've just been invited to. I click view project, and then look at this, add your personal information. Great. I can put my information in here. I can consent to how I'm paid. Let me show you something really, really cool though about this. Okay, look, there's 4 steps here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say actually that I'm a little baby. I'm going to say that I'm 18, born in 2018, right? The system is so smart. It's now asking for parent and legal guardian information, right? And what's so powerful about this is that there are all of these examples in Rapbook that, based off of the data put in, the system will attempt and work towards nudging you constantly towards compliance. So, you know, if you have a minor and you're shooting in California, what's their Coogan account number? If there is a union contract that's in here, I don't think that'll apply for most of you. What is the scale rate for the particular role? So there are all of these rules in Rapbook that are not overloading you unless you need them, which is what's really, really powerful about it, right? Okay, so I'm going to not say that I'm a baby. I'm going to say that I'm an adult. I'm going to fill out this information. I consent for electronic W-2. I'm going to save that. Now my information is associated with my profile. It's going to make my start work so much faster. Here's my withholding information. This looks good. I'm going to save that. I love it. My payment method. Now we use this really cool product called Plaid, which is bank grade encryption, where you can actually just immediately connect your bank account if you are a cast and crew member through any number of banks. You know, this one, I think I said Bank of America or whatever. We're in the demo environment here. So you can either do it through Plaid, which is just instantaneous for direct ACH, or you can actually do a check as well. And we actually don't charge for checks, and you know, we don't encourage people to do it. They get paid like 9 days faster on average if they do it through ACH, but it's available there for you. I-9s, really important for when you're hiring someone in the United States. So as a worker, I can put my information in here. I can submit. It's literally pulling this information in. I'm going to now sign it as a worker. I've signed my I-9. It's asked me to provide supporting documents. I'm going to use this funny little screenshot. I'm going to press save. And bam, my I-9 is complete. I'm going to press done. And then lastly, I was showing you that demographic information. I'm a white guy, submit, and bam. Now I've been onboarded, and now I can actually submit my time through this view. Now we also do have a mobile app, and then this also works on your phone too if it's smushed down. Let's see here. There's something in the chat. Oh, Sophia, of course. It's so nice to meet you. Thanks for being here. Oh, that's awesome. You use Rapbook. I love it. That's great. Tons of new features. So you always got to keep in touch with us. We're always launching stuff for you. But thanks for being here. Okay. So now I'm a crew member, right? And I want to submit my time or my box fee, my kit, or my mileage, or my COVID stipend, or some other thing, right? So right now I'm going to do a time card. I'm going to click into time card. I'm going to say I started time at 7 a.m. and it at 9 p.m. I had a meal. Perfect. Looks good. That looks great. And I worked Saturday as well. This looks great. Thanks for having me. I certify that that's correct. I submit it. It gives me an understanding of what I'm doing. I love it. Great. Submit. Now, the reason why this says approve here, just if you're paying attention, it's because the system knows that I'm an admin. So like if you have a coordinator with, if you're a coordinator, you trust them to submit and review their own time cards, they can press approve here, right? That's the reason why the system's doing it. For most of your crew members, they won't see that. They'll just see submit, edit, or delete. So I can press submit. This now goes back over to the production company to review. I also would like to, let's see here, my requests, I can now again see as a worker, what have I submitted? It's like I mentioned earlier, like this gives the worker a lot of power to understand where is my payment, who's paid me, what's going on, right? So I can see all my requests. I can see all of the projects I've been invited to. Here's all my payments. Once payments go here, I can see all of that as a worker. At the end of the year, I can see my tax documents. And so I just have a lot of flexibility as a worker, which is really great because we want to make your teams faster, and we also want to empower your cast and crew members as well. So let's jump back over to the company side. All right, so let's go back to Tall Metrics. Here we are. Cool. All right, we're at the company dashboard level. Let's go to the project. All right, so I showed you how to onboard people, right? I showed you what start work is. Let's review a time card. All right, so here is a submitted time card for 48 hours and 30 minutes. Let's go ahead and look at this. All right, so I get a breakdown for the week. I can see the OT wages and the standard wages. Rapbook's already calculated that for me. I can come down here and review every day with their start time and their wages. That's great. And I was talking about line numbers, right? Like, let's see, what is this person's role? This is an employee. We don't have it in the demo as any sort of thing, but like, let's say that they were a first AC. First AC. First AC. First AC. Great. All right, so I'm going to approve this. And really that's the level of attention to detail you should be expecting from your coordinators, right? That they review it, that it looks good. But if you're an EP like me and you're a little bit lazy, you can always come into this accounts payable, click approve all, and be on your way, right? The other thing that's really cool about accounts payable, right? So I was just showing you time cards. Time cards are hours worked, submitted, reviewed, approved, denied, kicked back, whatever you want to do. Accounts payable shows you any sort of payment request that has come into you for this particular job. And this view will actually let you see things that have been paid or processing or not. But what's also powerful about it is like, I can come in here and I want to see people who are just in the art department and apply that. Okay, great. And now I want to see, maybe let's do all departments, but I want to see time cards that have a status of submitted, but not yet approved. So I've already lazily approved all of them, but this gives you a lot of granularity, especially powerful when you have a ton of people on a job. There's a new feature that some of you might know about if you've used Rapbook before. I want to show you this mass payment method. So I can come in here. Let's say it's just a random sort of expense I want to give to everybody. Let's say, you know, you're feeling extremely generous. You want to give everybody a $25 bonus, right? At a work location. Thanks for being you. Happy New Year. I think I'm doing the most unrealistic example of us just giving money away, but this is mostly useful for like things like bulk COVID stipends or adding mileage to a number of people, right? But what you would do is you would add in the amount. You can add in that smart code like we've talked about before. Let's pretend this was, let's see, mileage. Mileage, kit, locations, and productions. Great. Press continue. I can now see every single person on this job that's been invited. I can either grant this to everybody or just to like 5 or 6 people, right? I press review. The system shows me how much I'm about to pay out. I press submit and bam, just like that, it's been added to my accounts payable, right? So it's really, really powerful. So you have people submitting time cards, kit fees, COVID stipends, invoices, mileage, all kinds of things that they may request. This gives you a view to kind of get an understanding of it. And as you approve this stuff, let's see here, there's 12 more to approve. So let's do status is, let's see here, submitted, apply. Let's just approve everything so that we have a nice chunky payroll when I show it for you. Approve. And so you'll see the accounts payable, it's going to go down because we've just approved so much stuff, right? So now I want to go up to run payroll. Okay. So what's really, really cool with Rapbook is that you no longer have a paymaster that you're like mailing all of this start work to, right? You can actually run as many payrolls as you want on any given project. So what the view you're seeing here is that on this job, we've actually already done 2 payrolls. But, you know, we were all just approving all of those accounts payables, and they all run up here to run new payroll. So I'm going to go run new payroll for 21 approved expenses, 7 approved invoices, 4 approved time cards, run new payroll. Here they all are. Who is the reviewer, right? So if you've maybe invited a coordinator to a job, but they're not allowed to run the payroll, you can actually check their work. Maybe you have multiple coordinators on this job and you can actually keep folks accountable as to what's going on. Maybe you notice like, hey, I'm not doing this kit rental. Instead of holding you up, we actually are just going to check it off and then we're going to go to review. The system's going to automatically calculate this. So let's just give it a moment to do some complex math because it's determining payroll taxes for different municipalities. The system could be determining union rules if you were ever on a union job. It's determining pay frequency. And now you can see it all here. Like, what is the system going to be paying out for this particular payroll? Rapbook does support contractors and loan outs, reimbursements, payrolls as well. What's super cool about Rapbook is that this is now in a draft status. But just because it's in a draft status doesn't mean that we don't think that you should have access to cool reports. So you can literally come in here and get a sense of what this thing is going to look like for you from a cost basis ever before running it, just giving you a lot of freedom. Cost code report. I kind of showed you what cost codes look like. Cost codes can be very, very powerful for your accounting. These individuals have not yet been coded out, but look at this. I'm just going to go here, here, here. Let's add all of these people onto a code. Let's call it just like 1, 1, 1, 1, enter, 1, enter. I can save that, and then it'll actually all roll back up to the cost code report up here. So like if you added all of these up under 1, it then nets it out down here. Demo server not as good. But the custom charts that I was showing you, it'll actually map all of this for you. It's super, super beautiful. All right. So let's say this looks good. I'm going to look at my employee wages, my contractor wages, all the taxes, the workers' comp, the platform fee for Rapbook. I'm going to say this looks good, and I'm going to continue to fund the payroll. Bam. The system gives me one last look. I can connect my business bank account to Rapbook, and now I'm going to press debit bank account for $6,346.95. One last warning, and bam, Rapbook has now calculated and run your payroll. Going to pull the funds from your account, properly withhold, and then deploy the capital to all of your workers, either through ACH or a check, however they opted to be paid on Rapbook. So just extremely powerful. And, you know, for the sake of time, I want to tease something for you in case you're curious about it. It's this cost tracking. So something that's coming in the first quarter of this year is the ability to take a budget, whether that's from in the film business, a lot of people are using Hot Budget or Showbiz, and we're actually going to enable you to upload it to Rapbook and then in real time see all of the payments and track your budget through Rapbook as well. But a part of that process that we've already gotten ready to release are purchase orders and petty cash. So purchase orders could be things like, hey, I'm renting a studio, or I'm renting some cameras, or I'm renting whatever. And you might not be the individual that is like generating the POs. You could actually enable a worker on it. So like, let's say this person here, Dylan, is your production coordinator. You can actually enable them from their Rapbook profile to generate POs on your behalf, or you can then approve them or not. I can actually add purchase orders as well. Let's say it's this camera company. I can say cameras. And instead of like digging in and adding all of the details to the PO, I can just do a quick create so I can do it later. I can copy the PO number for my notes, and then I can move on. And the system automatically tracks it. As well, petty cash. It depends for some of you. Maybe you are actually deploying cash out on your sets and you're not seeing the receipts and how that cash is being spent until the project is close to wrap. Well, Rapbook has now built a way for you to track in real time all of the cash that's being deployed on your set. So these are really, really cool features. We're really excited to be launching them to the general population on Rapbook soon. If you're interested in that, please get in touch for a demo. Like, there's so much in this product, and yet we hope that it's simple enough and intuitive enough to make your life super easy. With that, I'll pause, maybe take some questions, and hopefully this was extremely helpful for all of you. I see a bunch of comments, so let's see here. Any questions? Let's see here. Here's a Q&A. Here we go. Can I use Rapbook to pay my full-time employees? Emily, you can. There are some limitations for now related to kind of tracking or withholdings on 401ks. Rapbook is an EOR, which means that we administer the workers' compensation. We'll handle a claim if somebody has it. We'll handle the payroll compliance. My recommendation is if you have full-time hourly workers is to use like a Gusto or an ADP. They're super affordable. They're not super expensive. We will work towards enabling you to take your full-time employees and bring them on the platform. Some people do it by creating a project called full-time employees, and then they have their workers just fill out on a weekly basis. But you know, it's really built for your project employees, your onboarding and offboarding. But again, keep in touch with us because it is a request that we get. Our product team is aware of it, and we have it on the roadmap so that you can just very easily onboard your full-time folks and then move with it. Thanks for the question, Emily. Any other ones? Any other comments, concerns? Let's see, Q&A open. Oh, that one's done. All right. Jen, are you there? Pat?
I'm here.
I'm here. Thank you. It's great.
Hopefully that was helpful.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if there's no other questions, have a happy new year, everybody. And if you have any, let me do some shameless plugs. We waive the sign-up fee for AMA members. Rapbook is a proud AMA supporting member. We were sponsoring like right when the organization was started. We care deeply about what you all are doing and are happy to support. So we will waive the startup fee for you. Just whenever you jump onto a demo with a salesperson, tell them Cameron sent you and that you're from the AMA, and we'll get that waived for you. Shout out to our marketing team. Like I mentioned, our blog, we publish 3 days a week, tons of interesting information. We've got templates, we've got all this stuff. Oh, you probably want to know about pricing. Oh my goodness. Oh, Emily has a question about loan outs. Okay, loan outs, I will answer this for you. All right, let's see here. Okay, we got some good questions. All right, Emily and Mary, let's talk about loan outs. So for those of you that don't know, a loan out is kind of like paying a business. In fact, it is paying a business. And that business then loans out the labor of its owner to your production. The reason why loan outs like this is that it can have some specific tax advantages for that worker. Let's say they're a big-time photographer, a big-time director. They have the opportunity to then do like their own sort of business sort of deductions and have a better way to kind of keep more money. That's one of the reasons why a high paid or highly sought after individual probably prefers being paid as a loan out. Rapbook, like many features in it, has some really smart workflows to help you stay compliant with how you pay loan outs. In order to pay a loan out compliantly, that loan out must identify as an S or a C Corp. Now, LLCs are unique because oftentimes you can do pass-through taxation, which is very similar to just paying a sole proprietor. The IRS doesn't like that. The IRS knows that sometimes people use loan outs as a way to get around payroll taxes. And you would be held liable if you were paying loan outs who are not properly being taxed as an S or a C Corp. Some ways that producers make sure that they are compliant in this regard is they ask a loan out to submit their articles of incorporation. And Rapbook has a function so that as loan outs are onboarded to the system, that articles of incorporation can be submitted. Rapbook does enable you to pay loan outs. We charge a one-time fee on any loan out being paid out. It's not a percentage as it would be for an employee. And we can definitely get you that pricing information. Just reach out to our sales team. Your specific question though, Emily, was can you chat about loan outs? I just did. If someone is an LLC or an S Corp, do they qualify? So an LLC is a limited liability corporation. It can choose to be taxed in a number of different ways. If it's taxed as an S Corp or a C Corp, we will allow you to do it. Great. Done with that one. Mary asks, does workers' comp only cover crew run as employees or contractors and loan outs too? Sorry for the late question. It's not too late. I'm here. Thanks for the question. Okay. So Rapbook, as relates to employees and loan outs, will extend our workers' compensation to them. So if your loan out gets hurt or if your employee gets hurt, they call Rapbook. Our claims specialist will work with them to get the care that they need. All good. If you are paying contractors through Rapbook, it is against your company's EIN, not ours. The reason for that, as the AMA talks about constantly, is all around employee independent contractor verification. Now, our system does enable contractor payments, but that's because there are sometimes cases where contractors are legit. But for the most part, when you're using Rapbook, you will be paying employees and loan outs, but it is up to you as a user of Rapbook to be responsible for how you classify employees. Now, if you asked me over cocktails, I would tell you, you should be classifying everybody as an employee, or else there's a good chance you get audited and you find yourself in a world of pain. But as such, our workers' comp does not cover contractors. It only covers people that we take on that employer of record relationship with, which are your loan outs and your employees. However, Rapbook does also have an insurance agency where we can sell you a workers' compensation policy for your business that would cover your contractors. And I highly recommend that if any of you do have contractors, that you do also hold a workers' compensation policy as well, because it will extend coverage to your contractors and it will close a kind of liability gap that you might be exposed to if you don't hold one. And our insurance team and agency is happy to help you navigate that. So the kind of the most amazing form of business protection, I would say, is incorporation, strong contracts, and insurance, right? And on the insurance side, the strongest case for insurance for your production company is for you to hold your own general liability, property insurance coverages, or it's oftentimes known as a BOP, a business owner's policy, as well as like a workers' compensation policy that maybe is a coverall for any contractors you pay. The great thing about workers' comp is you only pay premium against every dollar that you pay to a contractor or an employee. So if you're mostly paying people through Rapbook, your premium on your own workers' comp would be super small because your Rapbook's covering that for them. But it just protects you. And then the workers' comp that Rapbook has would cover any of the loan outs or employees that you have on your site. I hope that helped. All right. You're welcome, Mary. And again, our blog has a ton of information on these types of topics. I am always available. You can either reach out to me at Cameron@rapbook.com or get to our wider marketing team at marketing@rapbook.com. And overall, like, thanks so much, everybody. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cameron.
My pleasure.